Good morning guys, and welcome to today's maths lesson, which is the fifth lesson of unit 9-12, and today the learning objective is to know how to divide algebraic fractions. Okay, so on the board you've got 6 knowledge retrieval questions. If you can please pause the video here for about 10 minutes, work through these 6 questions, and I'll give you the answers in a moment. So make sure you've got a green pen ready. So pause the video now, 10 minutes, work through those 6 questions please. Okay, and here are your answers. So, once again, get your green pens out, pause the video here, mark those 6 questions, and then just give yourself a score out of 6 if you would, please. Okay, so we've got our first example here, and the first I do says 3d to the power of 7 over 7 divided by e to the power 5 over 2d cubed. So we're dividing fractions here. So the important thing for you to remember when dividing fractions, always use KFC. KFC. Have a think for a moment. See if you can remember what KFC means. Just have a think for a second now. Right, KFC stands for keep, flip, and change. So if you didn't know that, I would definitely recommend writing that in your book now. Keep, flip, change. And I'll show you how we do that just now in a minute. So we keep the first fraction the same. 3d to the power 7 over 7 stays the same. 3d to the power 7 over 7. We flip the second fraction upside down. So e to the power 5 over 2d cubed becomes 2d cubed over e to the power 5. And then we change the sign from division to multiplication. So we're left with that now. Okay? So multiply those top 2 expressions, multiply those bottom 2, and what we'll be left with is 6d to the power of 10. So remember, when you multiply those indices, you get d to the power of 7 plus 3, which gives d to the power 10, over 7 times e to the power 5, which gives 7e to the power 5. Okay? So please pause the video there, copy down that solution, and then try the redo for me as well. So pause the video now, please. Okay, and now for the redo. So remember, first step is to keep, flip, change. Keep the first fraction the same. Flip the second fraction. Change the sign in the middle from divide to multiply. So multiply the top 2, the numerators. 3d to the power 7 times 11d to the power 4 gives me 33. So 33 comes from 3 times 11. d to the power of 7 add 4, which is 11. Okay? And that'll be over 7e to the power 5. So please mark that in green pen for me, and then we'll move on to the next example. Okay, so for this I do, again, we've got 2 fractions, they're being divided, so first step should always be to keep, flip, change. So the first one stays the same, 3d to the power 7 over 6. We flip the second one to 15 over 2d cubed, and we change the sign from divide to multiply. All I've done there is keep, flip, change. Now, multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. So 3d to the power 7 times 15 gives me 45d to the power 7. 6 times 2e cubed gives me 12e cubed. Now, that's the correct answer, but have a think how we can make that answer even better. Have a think for a minute now. How can I make that answer better? And you would be correct if you said we can simplify by taking out what common factor? Yes, by taking out a common factor of 3. Well done if you got that right. So, divide top and bottom by 3, we'll be left with 15e to the power 7 over 4e cubed. And that's my fully simplified correct answer. Now, have a look at the we do. Pause the video there, copy down the I do, and have a go at the we do for me, please. Okay, so for the we do, we've got 3e to the power 7 over 6 divided by 2e cubed over 21. So first step should be to keep, flip, change. Keep the first one the same. Flip the second fraction. Change the sign from divide to multiply. So 3d to the power 7 times 21 gives 63d to the power 7. And 6 times 2e cubed gives 12e cubed. And again, what's going to be better about that answer? And it's going to be simplifying it, okay? So 12 and 63 share a common factor of 3. So if we divide top and bottom by 3, we'll be left with 21e to the power 7 over 4e cubed. So really well done if you got that right. If you didn't, pause the video here, make sure you got that copied down, try and spot where you went wrong. Okay, so we've got another example here, 3d to the power 7 over 6 divided by 2d to the power 13 over 15. So again, keep, flip, change. Keep the first fraction the same. Flip the second fraction. And change the sign from divide to multiply. Multiply the numerators to give you 45d to the power 7. Multiply the denominators to give 12d to the power 13. Now, we can cancel out numbers from this answer, but we can also cancel out powers as well. So if we cancel out d to the power 7 with 7 of these d's, so reduce that 13 to a 6, and from the 45 and 12, they share a common factor of 3, so if we divide both those by 3, we'll be left with 15 over 12 divided by 3 gives 4, e to the power 6. So please pause the video there, copy that one down, that one's a bit more difficult, and then try the we do for me as well. So pause the video here, please. Okay, and for the we do, again, start by keep, flip, change. 3d to the power 7 over 6 times by 21 over 2d cubed. All I've done is followed keep, flip, change. Multiplying that out gives me 63d to the power 7 over 12d to the power 3. Now, 63 and 12 share a common factor of 3, so we can divide the numbers by 3, but we can also cancel out the d's, and we can cancel out d to the power 3 on the bottom with 3 of these d's on the top, changing that 7 to a 4. Divide 63 and 12 by a common factor of 3, and we're left with 21d to the power 4 over 12 divided by 3, which gives 4. And that's my final answer. We're going to go on to the last example now, and then I'll give you some questions to try yourselves. Okay, so for the last example, you'll notice on the numerator in this case we've got two things, okay? 5 take away 3e, and we've got to be careful to multiply both of those things. So let's have a look. Keep, flip, change is our first step. 3d to the power 7 over 7 times by 2d cubed over 5 take away 3e. So multiply the top two, which gives 6d to the power 10. multiply the bottom two. Now be careful to basically treat this second denominator like a pair of brackets and then multiply it out. So 7 times 5 and 7 times negative 3e. On the bottom that's going to leave 35, take away 21e. Okay? Now we can actually no, we can't simplify this. So that's actually going to be our final answer in this case. So please copy that one down and then try the redo for me. Right, so hopefully you paused the video and had a go at the redo yourself. So remember, first step should be to keep flip change. 3d to the power 7 over 7 times by 11d to the power 4 over 5 plus 3e. And remember to treat this denominator, when you multiply it, like a pair of brackets. So multiply the numerators, that gives us 33e to the power 11, 7 plus 4. Over, well, 7 times 5 gives 35, 7 times 3 gives 21e. Okay? And once again, that can't actually simplify. So that's our final answer. Really well done if you got that right yourself. That was a tricky example. Okay, so there's some questions for you here. These are the slightly easier questions. I've actually included 2 sets of questions. These are the easier ones if you are really struggling with this. So if you are struggling, please pause the video here, complete those 9. I'll give you the answers afterwards. Or if you're ready to challenge yourself a bit more, you could work through these ones, but there will be some more challenging questions to follow. Okay, so here's the answers for the first set of questions. So you can pause the video here if you did those questions, mark it in green pen. And I'm just about to put on the second set of questions. So here's some more challenging questions for you to try. Apologies you can't see question C, if you just skip that one, just do A, B, D, E and F and work on from there, okay? Right, so pause the video here for as long as you need to practice those ones and I'll give you the next set of questions. Okay, and there's the answers. So this is the final set of questions for this lesson. So thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you've understood most of that. If you didn't, you can feel free to re-watch this screencast anytime, practice it on Hegarty Maths. And this is the final lesson of 9.12, so I'll see you again in the next topic. Okay, thanks for joining and goodbye.